Do you want to become a millionaire? Do you want to build wealth for yourself? Are you trying to be financially free? Are you trying to have more peace, more time, or more autonomy and choice in your life? If so, then this video is for you. Today, we're going to be talking about how to make $1 million multiple ways, and I hope it's helpful to you. The first way to make $1 million is to simply figure out how to sell a product or a service that will get you to $1 million. So run the calculations. If you have a $20 product, how many of those do you need to sell to make $1 million? If you have a more high ticket price or a high ticket item or a service, can you charge $1,000? How much do you need to sell of that service to get $1 million? And so think about that. Maybe all you need is $100 service 2,000 times. What does that get you? And so it's really important to start thinking about the numbers that get you to $1 million. Don't just think, how do I make $1 million? Or $1 million is so much money. Actually think critically about it and go, is it really that much money? Oh, wait, if I just sell a $500 product this many times, I can become a millionaire? Oh, what products and services would equate to that amount of money? What could I actually charge that much money for? Or who could I charge that much money to for a certain thing? So that's the first way you can have a product or a service and then make money from there. The next way is with your W-2 income. And so there's a ton of jobs out there, but a lot of jobs do not offer a salary of $1 million per year. So typically you have to have a lot of experience, a lot of skills or expertise. You might have to be really high up in the ranks or be a CEO or a manager or something to that nature. You also could have equity in a company that would equate to $1 million salary. So maybe you make $200,000, but then you have a certain percentage of equity in the company, and then that equates to over $1 million. So there's multiple ways to do this, but typically the richest people, the wealthiest people are not employees. And so if you've ever seen the cash flow quadrant, or if you've ever read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, you will know this. And so I'll put this up here, but it has the quadrant, the cash flow quadrant. We have employees up here. Then we have the people who work for themselves. So then we have investors and owners. If you want to make more money, you will choose to be an investor and an owner. You will invest in stocks, assets, businesses, things of that nature, sports team. If you want to own like a sports team, or if you want to own a business, that is how you're going to make more money. So be an investor and an owner. Yes. If you're self-employed or if you work for yourself, you could potentially make more money than if you worked for another person or a job. That's not always the case, but it's important to look at this and just to know that there's more ways to make money. And so figure out how to do that. Along with what we just talked about, you want to invest. You want to make your money work for you. Elena Cardone says, make your monies have babies and make those babies eventually have babies. You want your money to just work, right? We don't want to just let them sit back on the beach when we're working so hard. We want to get our money working for us while we sleep, ideally. Yes, if you put your money in the right assets or things, you can literally make money while you sleep. This was key. I learned about this in the 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. And so I know that might be like 4-hour work week. How is that possible? But it's because of how you deploy your money and where you put it, because depending on where you put it, you can actually be making money while you sleep. And so figure that out. How can you make money while you sleep? Invest in assets. The biggest thing is to just invest in the stock market. That's all you have to do. It's not the fastest way to build wealth, but if you invest money over time, you will continually be making money and making dividends. And if you see here, if you invest $500 a month for about 35 years, you will be a millionaire. Even just in 30 years, you'll be a millionaire. And look at that difference on the graph of the green. You will be making so much money that wasn't what you initially put in. And so invest your money and make it work for you. You will become a millionaire faster. With the stock market, if you invest $100 a month for about 50 years, you'll become a millionaire. If you invest $200 a month for a little bit less than that, you will also be a millionaire. If you invest $500 a month, in about 30 years, you'll become a millionaire, etc. The more money you can pour into it, the faster you will become a millionaire. So this is just with the S&P 500 that makes an average 10% return. You can invest in individual stocks, but it's not an average or a guaranteed return. You are predicting and you're guessing. And so for me, I like to use the index funds that are low cost and that I know will get me a certain return. And then I like to invest also in businesses or creating and providing value to other people as well as other sources of income. If you want to be a millionaire, you have to think about providing value. And so what do other people need? It can go back to these products and services like we talked about initially, or a business, but what do people need? If you provide value to someone or to a company, and a lot of businesses, they have a lot more money than broke college students. And so think about who can you actually offer things to that would help them. And so I really, really am so passionate about like inventing things or creating products, creating services, creating value to other people. That is a key principle to think about, instead of like, oh, what job? Like, I'm not a doctor, so I don't make as much money, but you are providing value in that job, and it's a harder skill. That's why you're able to make more money, and it takes more time and training. But thinking about that, what is some value that I can bring to other people? How can I provide value? What value can I give? How can I serve? How can I solve problems? And money will be more likely to follow you. Another way to become a millionaire is to leverage your debt. And so debt doesn't have to be this scary or this horrible thing, but typically we go into consumer debt for things like clothes, or we rack up our credit cards for things that aren't going to make us money. All right. Maybe it'll build our confidence, that maybe will help us to go get a job that makes us more money, or things of that nature. But typically that consumer debt, we're not going to get that money back. So wealthy people, they know that debt doesn't have to be bad. It depends on your risk aversion or your risk tolerance, because sometimes you don't want to take that risk and you're happy to just be in index funds or invest in the stock market, and that's a big enough risk for you. But a lot of people are really into real estate investing or working with Airbnbs. I know Preston, he has the Legacy Investing Show. You can check him out on Instagram, or I think he might have a YouTube channel as well. But he talks about how him and his wife leverage debt by investing in Airbnbs, and then they have the cash flow. And so they have a lot of money in debt, but they're making so much a month from that cash flow that it's worth it. And so I don't know too much about that. That's not my specialty, at least currently. Not yet, right? The power of not yet, that growth mindset. But check them out. There's so many different ways to make more money by leveraging debt. You can leverage debt to start a business. You can leverage debt to be able to house hack. And so then you buy property where someone else could pay you, or they live in the other side of the house, the duplex, or you buy a house and you rent out the basement or something, and you're leveraging that debt because you don't have $500,000 or $300,000 to then make you money. So think about how you can use debt to make you money. If that is fits with your risk tolerance and your personality, then go for it. Honestly, I know a lot of people who have been successful in that avenue. And so it's something you're interested in, then go for it. Lastly, in order to become a millionaire, you need to start doing those millionaire habits. You need to live below your means. You could be making a lot of money, but do you spend it all, right? Or you need to make that money and you're good at making money, but then you need to know how to deploy it. Well, where do I put it? I just have $100,000 now. Where do I put it? And so learning some of these habits, the things that they focus on, the actions that they do. Not all millionaires are healthy, but that can help. I know there's a list. I could put maybe some up here, but starting to act like the person you want to become is critical. So I hope this video was helpful to you and maybe helped you see some different ways to become a millionaire. The biggest thing is that it takes time. And so a lot of people underestimate what they can do in 10 years, but they overestimate what they can do in 1 year. So start thinking bigger. Start giving yourself a longer time horizon, because a lot of this stuff, especially index funds, it's going to take time. If you want to go faster and get in that millionaire fast lane, you can have a service or a product or something that you sell, or a business, or you invent something. And so these are all the steps. And maybe it can be overwhelming at first. And if you're in debt right now and you're like, oh my gosh, like I don't even have that type of money yet. So there's videos out there for you, and I'm happy to tackle that and share that information with you. But just start where you are and figure out where you want to get to, and then start taking action, and eventually you'll chip away. And in 5 years, 2 years, 10 years, 20 years, you'll be in a completely different place because you started now. So feel free to like and subscribe for more. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when a new video comes out every week. Let me know in the comments below if you have questions, what type of videos you enjoy, and what would be helpful. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys. You got this.